Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to Little Homestead.
This isn't Little Homestead.
Welcome to Little Craft Co.
We have two channels. This is Little Hill Craft Company. We also have Little Hill Homestead, which is geared towards gardening and cooking and stuff like that. So,
Quick side note real fast. Wearing a Cardinals jersey because the Cardinals are playing tonight. And my buddy's in town. He's a Cowboys fan. So I had to put my Cardinals jersey on. So anyways, here we go.
So today we're going to be showing you guys how we make our jar covers. We decided to make a jar cover that can fit on two different size jars. Well, not two different size jars, two different size tops. So it can fit on a narrow or a wide mouth jar using the same pattern. I just feel like you want it to fit both, right? It does fit on a Weck jar as well, which is another one people use for sourdough. And I wanted to show you one option. In your face, hello. Some of you guys were mentioning on the bowl cover tutorial that we recently did, like, hey, I want to be able to use this in my fridge for longer term storage without things drying out. Or in a jar cover, if you have somebody who's a sourdough baker and you want to be able to store their sourdough starter on the counter without it drying out, they sell something called Pull, P-U-L. And it's available at Hobby Lobby. It looks like this. If you know, like, diapers used to be, like, baby diapers.
Liners.
They would put the little, like, rubber panty thingies over. You know what I'm talking about. It was made with this. It's basically waterproof liner. So if you are going to be using this for sourdough or food storage, this might work a little bit better instead of 2 pieces of cotton. Okay, back to it. So, I'm going to have Shawn show you guys today kind of how he sews these, because honestly I taught him how to do them a long time ago and he's sewn more than I have at this point. Okay.
Well, we've already had these ones pre-cut, but I'm going to show you really quick. We use this template here.
Yeah.
Just a round template. I don't know if you can see it, it's so clear.
I know.
But it's a 9-inch round circle. I mean, you can use a protractor. You can use a bowl that's about that size. It doesn't have to be perfectly that size, but it's a 9-inch
9 inches will
circumference.
Fit both of your jars. But yeah,
diameter.
Forever, I used a bowl and then I cut a piece of cardboard to create our template.
But you can also make a quarter. This one is not the right size. We use the plastic one.
Yeah.
This is for a different bowl cover we make. But you can make a quarter and you fold your fabric and you just cut around the edge. And when you open it up, it creates your circle. But we use this one here.
If you're gonna do a quarter one, it's 4.5 inches each direction, and then you would just find something to round out that corner.
So on this, you definitely want to take your material to start, and you're gonna put the good face or the face you want to see. You're gonna put those together. This particular material is double-sided, so I don't have to worry about it there. But here you can see, there's the back, there's the front. We're gonna take the front, we're gonna line those up. If I need to, and I think I will, just because I'm going to give this just a quick iron to get it right in place where I want it before I hit sewing.
In sewing terminology, by the way, it's called right sides together. If you have
see, I'm still learning.
So your fabric face, you want them to face each other with your backs facing out.
Correct.
Like we've told you guys, he's been sewing for
I think 7 months.
7 months.
But
now?
I started off really slow.
Yeah.
So
I'll throw in the terms. We're good. Okay, let's go iron and sew.
So I'm lining these up as close together as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I'll show you as we go along. These ones are pretty flat, so I really don't need a lot of iron on it. So I'm just going to do the quick iron. That's all I need. Let's go sew this. Okay, so on my machine, I have a 5/8 inch mark here. That's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to sew around the whole circle, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap so that I can flip this inside out when I'm done. So I'll show you about what that looks like. So I'm gonna put my foot down. I'm gonna give it a quick double stitch. Then I'm just gonna watch this line here. I just kind of twiddle my fingers around, try to keep it in line. If it doesn't stay perfectly in line, it's not that big of a deal, but you wanna be close. And you can see how it bunches just a little bit sometimes. Not a big deal. You just don't want it to bunch too much. I'm going to back stitch there, give it a cut. Now I've got my opening here. And take my finger, I'm going to stick it. So I've left just this little opening here, right there, just enough to get a finger in. Get all the way to the back of this cover. and I just pop it out. I use my thumb to pop it out the side, that opening, and then I'm just gonna turn it inside out. Or right side out, I should say, I guess. Once I get to that point, still take my finger in there, and then to get this back to a circle, I kind of go around the edges here to get it back into a circle. Now I'm gonna go iron these. Sometimes you can give it a flip too, like that, to get that back into a circle. I'm gonna go iron this out and get these edges as close to the edge as possible. So we'll show you that right now. I'm gonna take my opening here, and I wanna make sure they're folded inside just a little bit, and they kind of automatically do that, but I wanna make sure they're folded inside a little bit. Try to even them up the best I can here. If I need to, I use a little water on the side to help me grip the fabric. I'll pull these out just a little bit, trying to make it a perfect circle the best I can, but it doesn't have to be perfect for jar covers, but I want them to be even back and front. Then I like to start with my opening over here, but I don't think it really matters. This is just how I do it. And I go just above the opening, I take some water. Don't worry, when it gets wet, it irons out real fast. And I'm pinching my fingers together and kind of pulling the fabric back and forth to get it all the way to the edge. And I do it a little piece at a time. So then I put the iron on it, put a little steam on that, just to get it real flat. So I'm gonna do that around this whole thing real quick. And this here, I said I want to lick my fingers, but sometimes I just do. And try to use water. But if you're a sewer, you know what I mean. Piece the outside. Ow, don't touch the iron, it's hot. Sometimes you have to pinch it pretty good to get it out. There we go. And you can fill the seam in there that you just sewed. You can fill it in there. When that pushes out to the edge, you're good to go. I'll do the whole thing real quick. So there, check this again real quick. Now I've come back over to my opening where I started. So now we're ready to show you how we sew the outside and how we insert the elastic and make this into a jar cover. So now I know I was talking in inches earlier, but on my machine, I take this out to the 30 millimeter mark, which is, I don't know, this says 1 inch, but I don't know which line that is. So I use the 30 millimeter mark on this one. I take it with my opening so I can remember where it is. This is gonna be important when we insert the elastic. Take it with my opening. I take it out to my 30 millimeter mark to start, right just past the opening. Drop my foot. This is gonna be a full circle around. We're gonna back stitch this a little bit. I'm gonna watch my line. Turn as you go, turn as you go. Thread out of the way there. If you fall off the line a little bit, it's not a big deal. When you get back up here to where you're completing it, you wanna make sure you match up your first stitch to your last stitch. So I watch that kind of closely. Do a little back stitch, cut it off. I'm gonna do a quick trim. Is that my back trim right there? That takes care of the extra thread. Now that I have a full circle, if you can see that, the full circle on the inside, that's gonna be the first part. Now I'm gonna take this thing and I'm gonna go back, now that it's right side out, I'm gonna go back to the 5/8 inch mark once again. And I'm gonna start at that opening again, which I gotta find, there it is. And I'm gonna stitch around this whole thing and leave a gap big enough to insert the elastic. We'll show you that in just a second.
So basically you're creating a channel for the elastic to slide through.
Give that a cut. I'll go ahead and do a quick trim. I like to trim as I go. When Ali makes these, she trims all at the end. But I like to trim as I go. But teach their own, however you want to do it. I'm gonna pull that thread out a little bit right there. There you go. Got it. So now I've made, what'd you call it?
channel.
A channel. I was going to say notch. I don't want to say notch. A channel in here. And this is where we're going to insert our elastic. We have this nifty little tool here that we use. But you can also use a safety pin. Works really well. This guy here.
I'll link this little gripper below. You can get like 4 of them for $5 on Amazon.
Grips on there, and then this pushes down to really hold it in place. We put a little clip. Any clip will work. I mean, you can use clothespins, whatever. On this end, just so that the elastic doesn't, you'll see in a second, so the elastic doesn't go all the way through. We find that opening that I sewed. It's somewhere on here. There it is. And we're going to insert this through that opening, and we're going right into that channel. So we're aiming right in between these 2 sew lines. And we're just going to start bunching it around here. I like to do a couple at a time until this elastic kind of gets close there. If you want to, you can take this and clip the elastic to the fabric at this point to make sure the elastic doesn't slip in past the clip. Not necessarily all the time, but when I get to that point, I start, instead of bringing the elastic the fabric all the way around the elastic, I just kind of do a little bit of time to get this thing through. When you get to the other side, you can pop it out that hole. Kind of got to work it out just a little bit here. When it comes out, I now have my 2 pieces of elastic, and I can give it a good pull. Extra thread, always. Then we take this off, set it over there, and I've got my 2 pieces of elastic hanging out the edge, and I need to sew those together.
Let me see one thing really quick, because somebody asked this. So we typically will take these 2 pieces just like this, and Shawn will show you we sew right across it. On the last video with the bowl cover, somebody asked why we do not overlap them like that. And so you totally can. The other thing some people do, and I don't love this because it leaves a weird knot, you can knot this and not sew it at all. But
I don't like
to each his own,
I do like
to each her own.
I try to keep it. This one I try to keep close to the edge so that it doesn't have a big bump in it. We found that hasn't been too big of a problem. So I put this, Ali originally told me to put this at the 5/8 inch mark, but I put it more like at a 1/4 inch. Got to make sure they're even though. And now that it's all bunching up, it's always harder. Now I go back and forth on this several times.
Hold that up and show them because I don't know if they could see when you were holding it.
No problem. I think I just lost my bobbin now.
Oh no.
I'm just resetting my bobbin real quick, everybody.
We will be showing you guys really soon. A lot of people asked us to show some basic threading of a machine, and every machine's gonna be a little bit different, and we will address the ones that we have, but really the best advice I have is to find your user manual. You can even find old users manuals online, because every bobbin's gonna go in a different direction. But, hold on.
So it's not that big of a thing. I try to keep it really close to the edge, but far enough to where it's, you know, really connected.
We haven't had any issues with it.
We haven't had any issues
not
with
doing the overlap thing,
So-
but you guys, you do you, as we always
Yeah,
say.
you can, yeah, always. So I'm just going to tuck that back in, kind of stretch that out a little bit. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around the edge to close it up. I'm going to start with my opening here, and I'll readjust it just a little bit to make sure it's even. I'm going to do it on this side. Doesn't matter which side you do it on. So I like to start at the opening because it makes it a little easier. And at this point, on my machine, and every machine's a little bit different, I'm going to kind of aim for this edge. That's what I'm going to stare at, this edge of the foot for the outside of the material. So I'll drop my foot right on the outside of the material to start and try to follow that along. A little trickier here because there's elastic in here, so you'll see kind of what goes on here. Do a little back stitch, then I kind of have to pull this out and follow this outside edge here. And you have to kind of stop and keep pulling it out real quick.
When you stop, by the
Ali's
way,
actually really good at this. I'm a
make
lot
sure
worse.
when you stop that your needle is down so that when you're pulling it, it's not moving.
our machine automatically does that. So thank you, baby.
It's not stitched.
Now I've lost my bobbin completely. So
we're gonna play some hold music.
That's called great planning. Hold music, and
Hold
I'll switch the bobbin real quick. Actually,
let's
do it. Well, I pulled it out. There's still thread on it, but you can see my bobbin is empty. So we'll do that really quick. I made some up the other day, so I've got another one sitting right here.
We always keep like 6 bobbins of white on hand because we go through just a lot, especially when we do quilt lines on stuff. It just uses a lot of thread.
Lost it. Not the first time, won't be the last. That in there. That bad boy opened up. That's just how our machine works. Get it back in there. Give it a little trim. Toss it down like that. Hold my thread here. Needle down, needle up. Pull that out. And we're good to go.
Redo.
I'm going to do a quick trim on this just because I left so much. And I'll trim it up when I'm done too as well. Always do. In the case that that happens, it's not a big deal. You just find how far you got to.
I don't think it did any.
Yeah, it did. It did like the first 3 stitches. Okay. Well, round 2. Here we go. So I'm lining this back up. I do have like 3 or 4 stitches in there. So I am going to back stitch again just to make sure it's in there good. I'm going to follow this outside line. This particular machine, it's hard to tell when you run out of bobbin until that happens.
Some people just close off the little hole where the elastic threaded in, and you can totally do that. We just found this looks a whole lot neater and cleaner to have a line that goes all the way around because we do sell these. So we want them to look professional and hold together really well, and these get washed a lot.
You see I'm kind of pulling this elastic as I'm going along for each little thing. That's why I keep kind of stopping and starting, but I'm getting back to my starting point here. So I'm going to watch that and make sure that lines up at the end here. Then I'll give it a quick back stitch, cut. Now I'll do my trimming. There's that one. I swear I wear thread all day. Get your back stitch thread cut. I'm going to check it to see if I got any other stitching on that mishap. Running out of bobbin. Nope. Reversible. You can see the elastic in there. That's a jar cover.
Ta-da! That was easy.
That was easy.
All right, guys, that is it. Here's the final product. There's a cute little jar bonnet. A lot of people call them jar bonnets or jar covers, but I love this little elasticy edge. I think it's super cute. Yeah. A lot of people don't make them reversible or it's the same on both sides. I like having options.
Yeah, it's like getting 2 for 1.
2 for 1, y'all. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, Sean's answering about 90% of your comments right now. So if you have any questions for him, let him know.
Please do.
And if he doesn't know the answer, he asked me anyway.
That's true.
If you have any questions, comments, let us know. We're here for you. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.